Hey, everybody, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e commerce podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about something a little different. How our Let me try this again. And if you don't know, I am battling this terrible cold and just trying to make sense of everything. So let's do this again. In this episode, we're going to be talking how our guest lost $150,000 on coaches, courses, and tools, and how he recovered. We're going to be talking about how our guest is going to share his horror stories, the mistakes to avoid when selecting coaches, tools, and courses, and how you can differentiate good courses versus horrible ones. So, welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with
All right. Like I said, we are going to be talking about how our guest lost 150K on courses, coaches, and tools, and how he recovered. He is my old business partner from Digital Blacksmith that specializes in driving external traffic. He has grown multiple Facebook pages, fan pages, amassing millions of followers, and then converting these followers into paid customers. And last year, he reached 2 billion people on Facebook with a 10K budget. Please welcome, well, we'll get to him very shortly, but our guest today is Wilfried Ligthart. So before we get to Wilfried, how about a word from our sponsor? Meet Sellerize, our favorite suite of tools for Amazon sellers. Leverage 19 innovative tools to dominate your competition on Amazon. Get your customer reviews, rank higher, track and analyze profit in real time. Sellerize is what you need to make data-driven decisions and give your business a boost. Get a free month trial by signing up with a coupon Beard Nation. Follow the link in this episode's description and get started now. All right, where is the man or boy?
That's me. Hello.
Why couldn't you do this podcast?
We're kind of stuck with the Lunch with Norm name. So
it could easily be changed to Lunch with Kelsey today.
We'll see. Maybe in the future.
All right.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new to the show, we start off this podcast by smashing those likes, giving us those thumbs up, and sharing this episode out to any people that you think might be interested in selling on Amazon, e-commerce, entrepreneurism. If you know anyone, tag them in the comments below. This is a live podcast, obviously. So if you have any questions for Wilfried, for Norm, you can go ahead and put them in the comments, and we're going to be answering usually in the second half of the show. So we won't answer them right away probably, but just hold on and we'll answer them at the end. We also have a great prize today worth about $500. So stick around for that. I also just want to shout out our beard members. We've got Cool Hand 99, Mark, Arif. We've got Nathan, Claudia joining us from sunny Calgary, and Rad. It's great to see everyone. Also, if you're watching, feel free to say hi in the comments. I'm going to be there checking out and saying hi to everyone as well. So other than that, make sure you join the Lunch with Norm Facebook group. That is this right here, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA and e-commerce collective. That's where all the fun happens. That's the good stuff. We ask questions, we have giveaways, all of that fun stuff is in the Facebook group. So check it out. And I think that's about it. And yeah, anything else, Norm?
You're doing a fine job. See, whenever I'm sick, you could take the whole thing over. I think we should have a poll on that. So
and a pay raise maybe too. If
well, 0 plus 0 is still 0, right?
That's true. Yeah.
But I give you all the coffee you can drink.
Oh,
well, yeah, there you go.
That's what matters. Yeah.
Okay, what matters is getting Wilfried onto the podcast. So see you later, Kels.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them over in the comments section and we will get to them, like Kelsey said, as soon as we can. We usually hold off until the end of the podcast. But for now, sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Welcome, Mr. Lightheart.
Hey Norm, I sound the same as you. It looked like we've been both partying and prosper, but I wasn't there. So what happens
Yeah,
in Vegas stays in Vegas, I guess.
I guess I don't know. and and Kelsey was just like this. Why he couldn't go to the Prosper show.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, COVID,
anyways,
I heard. Yeah,
yeah, he had COVID. I am showing negative, but anyway, it's been going on since the day I got back, which really sucks. But
yeah, same here. So if we are coughing, then people don't mind us. We're getting old. That's
yeah,
it.
and sniffling, and yeah, we're getting old. Yes,
It's
we
not
are.
contagious online. That's a good thing. So
Oh my god.
yeah, I'm
So
here to talk about my experiences with fake gurus and courses that promise you the moon. And yeah, as I said,
this is a really good topic. You
yeah,
know, I don't
absolutely.
think I've ever thought of putting together a podcast on fake gurus or courses or horrible courses, but and we're not ramming anybody, but we're just kind of telling you what to look for and what not to look for.
Oh, I have a whole list of names I want to say.
No.
Oh, I'm joking, no.
I
But
know you.
yeah, I'm doing online marketing, as you know. We're business partners, and I'm doing online marketing since 1998, so that's Stone Ages. But I know exactly when I started. You know nothing, so it's not taught at school how you sell
Yeah.
on Amazon or how you do online marketing. That's not what they teach on school. Maybe now a little bit more, but not to be an entrepreneur, for example. And I totally fall into the shiny object syndrome. And you hear somebody talk and say, "Oh, if you do this, then you will make a lot of money." And before you know it, you buy the course and you get disappointed almost the first minute. Horrible lighting, people that aren't gurus at all. They don't. I also saw that you can learn how to do an online course, but yeah, and then you know how to do an online course. But
There you go.
what value are you giving to people? And that's so horrible. That's not what people want. They want real value. And another thing with tools, for example, we love our AppSumo because it's very cheap. But even AppSumo can be an addiction if you just buy everything and before you know it, you have 50 of those different tools. And
You know what, Wilfried?
what to use.
When
Yeah,
we started looking at AppSumo, so if you haven't looked at AppSumo, it's a really cool platform to buy deeply discounted apps that are brand new and they're just trying to get some market share. So Wilfred and I, we had a spreadsheet. I think if there was anything that came on AppSumo, it was purchased. You remember that? I don't
yeah,
do it anymore because sorry, but because there was too many apps that come out now. But back then, anything that came out on AppSumo was Wilfred, you got that? No, okay, I'll grab it. And we
yeah.
got this huge list. I don't know how many apps that we have and we paid for, but it was cheap. And that was kind of the wrong thinking, don't you think? After we have like a couple of hundred apps.
Absolutely. And that's yeah, what I learned along the way. After all those fake gurus, luckily I spotted a few good ones that actually taught me something. And the first thing you need to do is check your guru out. Is he online? Is he doing a lot of seminars? How is his following? If he says he does a lot of Facebook, yeah, has his fan page 10 likes, for example, then you know enough. And yeah, that's the first thing I learned along the way. The second thing is, and luckily I'm from Holland, so my skeptic antenna is always on full alert. But that's also something you need to do. If someone has outrageous claims, and I fell for it. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. I paid my fair share. I'm not sure. Do you know the trip to Fiji? $5,000, and you will learn everything.
I remember that one.
The trip was wonderful and I got a tan, but I didn't learn anything because they were just eating. And of course, you have your network. That's always important. But it's not that they taught you how to be a better entrepreneur or something like that. So another $5,000 down the drain. So
Yeah.
be very picky and careful for what you sign up. And what is your end goal? If you want to sign up, what can you do with it? And how it will you make you a better entrepreneur or a better Amazon seller? That's always what you need to do. And I totally not against learning because change is the end result of true learning. But yeah, be careful on that thing. And but another thing I learned, make sure you find them instead of they find you with telemarketing or emails. And before you have it, they hook you in and they say, oh, you need to sign up today because otherwise you will lose your spot and your whole business falls apart. And
Or it'll
and
go up by 3 times the amount.
yeah,
You know, one of the and this is just a standard formula, but one of the things that I hate when I'm looking for a course is that you get suckered by either the free or the $50. You go and you buy it and you think that's all but that's only for one license. If you want multiple licenses or something else a little bit different, well, that's another $197.
yeah.
And then if you want to understand how to use it properly, and then that goes to $497, and then $1997 for the mastermind. There's always a hook.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. It starts with 47. You think, oh, that's great, but then you have a license for 1 week or something like that, something ridiculous.
Yeah,
And it's like a carrot on a stick. That's what they're doing. And yeah, always take a step back. Do you really need it? And don't yield for the time pressure selling. You need to buy today, tomorrow it's gone. And I know with YouTube, for example, the countdown timer works 37% more. So absolutely use a countdown timer, but that is not related to courses unless you sell courses, of course. But it does work because people, don't fall in the trap of the scarcity and the FOMO, fear of missing out. So
yeah.
and with tools as well, they some tools out there are just black hat. You don't know it. You think, oh, that's a great tool. You pay $300 a month for some kind of SEO tool, and before you know it, you end up losing your accounts. All automation tools on social media, especially on Instagram, don't use them. I had my fair share as well. You were there when I lost all my Facebook pages.
I was sitting at the kitchen table with you.
Yeah.
We both were crying.
There's no recovering from it. It's ridiculous. So but with all the bad news, I have good news as well, because you know why I started my agency. I never had intention to start an agency. It was more people came to me and said, you have a huge following, how do you do that? Because I pay my agency $5,000, $3,500 in ad spend, and I don't see any return. And I always look at their social media pages and I say, well, what you're doing here, you're only selling. You don't building a community. You're not giving them any value. So start there. And before they know it, they say, well, can you not do it for me? And then I had my Digital Blacksmith. And I was on a podcast the other day as well, when I said, well, we don't onboard clients anymore because we are filled up. We can have a few, but our rate and a normal agency rate that actually delivers starts at $5,000. So that's what I thought, well, I'm now helping the bigger Amazon sellers. Let's help the smaller Amazon sellers that don't have the budget. And what I'm basically doing is opening my vault. I give them all the tools I use. If the tool is not in the vault, don't buy it, because then we don't use it. So why should you? And basically, I give all my tips, tricks, and hacks away in a course I created for myself. It's called powerupmasterclass.com. You can go over there. And that's basically, I wanted to create something that if you buy that one, you don't need anything else, because we keep updating it. And I know exactly, as I said, how those fake gurus work. And they also can give you advice that can cost you your account, as I said, or use tools or whatever. So I really want to help people out now. When I know Amazon sellers are struggling, it's always the timing and money and the technical know-how. And that's also why I want to do a Ask Me Anything call every other week, and just take them by the hand. We just sit down and we create a TikTok account, for example. And every other week you can just look over my shoulder and see how we grow the thing, and what you should do, what you shouldn't do. If people are interested, they can go to powerupmasterclass.com. Beautiful thing is you need to bring something when you're on lunches with Norm. So I have a 50% discount, $1,000 discount for the early birds if you use the code VIP Norm at the checkout. And it's not that I want to pitch myself here. Of course, I'm selling my course, but there's more to the story than just want to sell my course. It's I got so many times people on the phone, and with their last dollar, they spend it on some useless program for $1,000, and they end up with nothing. And that's not what you want to do. Every person has another problem, and you need to find out what that problem is, and then you can help them out and say, oh, you need to do a little bit of this or a little bit of that. Maybe you don't need TikTok. Everyone is talking about TikTok, but if you have an audience of 65 plus, they are not on TikTok. And so then you need something else. And that's what you need to find out. And that's why we're basically scratching the whole surface. We do Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And if it's not there, then we will create it, because it's the end of all the fake gurus out there. And that's basically what I wanted to do. And as I said, you need never stop learning, because life never stops teaching.
I think that's important, Wilfried, is that you constantly learn. We talk about that a lot, but I've seen this, and this fella too. But I had talked to him at a conference in Vegas, and he was starting out. And I talked to him, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he says, "Oh, I got this app, and I got this at the conference that I was at." So it was a high level mastermind. It was 12,000, well, $13,000. He was there. And so, I'm saying, well, what are you spending on tools? And he ended up spending $3,700 a month. Now, the catch is he never had a product in Amazon yet. Not yet. And he was at a $13,000. And so there's a lot of things that are going on that you don't need to have until you, I don't want to say perfect it, but get the first Amazon listing out there, learn by your mistakes, then start taking a look at, different apps and all these ones that overlap. Check out which you feel is the best. Like I use Helium 10 quite a bit. I like Sellerize. These two products are very good products, but do I need 10 other products that, maybe they don't cover it and I have to overlap it? No, I'll just do something else. Yep. The other thing is, we talk about, getting your website and brand and consistency and social media and all this other stuff. Okay, but get your first listing out there, build the brand, build the social, and you don't have to be an expert in everything. Go out and get an expert to do it for you. I mean, if it makes sense for you. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And what you also said before, and that's where I lost my majority of my money, was the upsell. We were, as you remember, I will not say any dates or any names. We were at a conference in San Diego talking about e-commerce. And the second day, that guy was selling shares of his company.
That's right. You're right.
Taking the picture like, oh, this is so awesome. You just signed, you give me $20,000 and you make 500,000 within the year. And there were people falling for it. Luckily,
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with e-commerce anymore. And people luring you in. And that's why you need to be very sensitive. I always say, talk to your wife first before you say yes. Because
I mean, in sports, we have a 24-hour rule, right? Before you go screaming at the coach, cool down. In business, it should be like that way too. If you get an email, and you don't fire back right away, cool down a bit. But here's another one. So just to give you, I want to just provide the listeners with different examples of what to be careful of. And I was at again, not mentioning, it's not to ram anybody, but I was at an Amazon conference. I don't think you were there at this one, Wilfried, but anyways, I get to know all the people around me, networking and talking. The person who was selling the most around me was $5,000 a month. Okay. So, and they had been selling Amazon for a few months, and I'd say about 5 months, but that was the highest. And this is back in the early days, and everybody else was either starting out or $1,000, losing money. And so I went, wow, I don't know what they're doing wrong. I really don't know what was going on, because in those days it was like shooting fish in the barrel. Anyways, somebody gets on stage and they introduce this guy, and they said, well, we might have said that you would turn a profit in 3 months, and that is 100% true, but you have to reinvest it, and that could take 6 months or 9 months before you really see a profit. So what we suggest, and they bring this other guy up and says, why don't you be a consultant? And all of a sudden, I am not kidding you, everybody that was a failed Amazon seller that was sitting around me, every one of them signed up for the $19.99 course on how to be a consultant. Now, Now, one of the things is that makes like any consultant I think about, are you a failed Amazon seller? Like, show me what you're doing or what you've done,
Yeah.
but even that, like these courses, okay, well, I paid $3,000 for this course. Well, since you didn't, like, you might have to struggle a bit. Well, here's another course. It was brilliant, but I couldn't do that. I could never do that.
And I totally had that problem myself, because normally when you see something giving you the solution, you think, oh, if I buy that, then my business will prevail. And that's the biggest trap you can fall into, because it's what I said on stage as well. I bring you good and bad news. The good news is anyone can do it. The bad news, it's a lot of work. There's no magic button. It's not that you buy a course or a coach or whatever, you press the button and all of a sudden you start selling like crazy on Amazon. It's tender love and care. And I always use the metaphor with a field of flowers. So social media is for me a field of flowers, but it starts with the seed. You need to give them love, water, attention, and then it will start to grow. But people love the solution to buy some flowers from the supermarket, smack it in the ground, and you see, oh, this is nice for 2 weeks, but after that it dies down. And you need to start from the ground up. And if someone has outrageous claims, don't fall for them. Ask for proof or whatever. But as I said, I've been there, done that. So that's why I'm here as well. And we're seasoned guys already, so we know exactly to separate the guys from the men. How do you say it? The boys from the men?
Boys from the men.
Yeah.
So for you, let's talk about how do you, knowing what you know and the crap that you've bought and the good courses that you've bought, how do you differentiate between the two?
Yeah, well, what I said, gut feeling is important. We learn that along the way, of course. When you just start out as a brand new entrepreneur, you think everyone is your enemy or your friend if they sell the courses. And don't throw the good money after the bad. If you spend something and then ask for more while your first experience is horrible, stop using that, of course. Make sure, as I said, make sure you find them. You can search for them, but always ask your guru, your mentor for how did you learn it? Where did you get your story from? And I have a funny story. I had a mentor talking to me about email marketing. And I said, well, who was your mentor? And Alex Becker is a great name in the industry. And his mentor was Alex Becker. He said, but you can never reach him. And that's also something you need to do as an entrepreneur. Don't let somebody else tell you cannot do anything.
Right.
You can do so much. So I saw that Alex Becker had a new product, and he gave away a 20-minute one-on-one if you gave a testimonial. And I used his product, and I gave the testimonial. And before I know it, a week later, I was sitting down with him. And then I took a screenshot and sent it to my previous mentor. I said, hey, I stepped up, and now I'm now talking to your mentor. And that's also something you need to do, is surround yourself with people that can push you forward. That's very important. But those people need to be the good people. And we all fall for the shiny object syndrome, especially me. Oh, there's so much going on. That I think you and me both, we have around 200 different URLs with all different ways to make money. If it's an Amazon affiliate business or a lead generation machine or whatever. But there are still only 24/7 days in or hours in the day and days in the week. So that's also where you buy something. What is your end goal? What do you want to learn with it? And again, that's why I basically created my own. I had a sign up yesterday, and the person said, I don't see email marketing yet in it. I said, well, we will create it, because I think we need to be as complete as possible. And there are so many. If tomorrow is a new best thing out there, we will dissect it. And if you boil it down, all those platforms have the same mantra. You need to provide value before you earn money. You need to build a relationship, provide value. And if you provide value, then the money will follow. And if you know that trick, and you have the right tools, and you can look over the shoulder, I think that's also important, some hand holding, because otherwise you really get lost. And an Amazon seller, as I said, selling on Amazon itself is, you need to have a PhD almost to do it. There are so many factors in play. And then you also need to do your accounting and your social media, your all other stuff. Then I think it's good if you taking care of that particular part. And that's also what you said. You can find a good VA, and if that girl or guy is doing the social media very well, keep building on that relationship. That's important.
Yeah, like just because you have a VA doesn't make them an expert in everything. So I think that's important to think of. And one of the things which I liked, that courses can take a lot of time.
Yeah.
They can take a lot, and good courses can take a lot of time because there's probably a lot of knowledge there. So one of the things that I learned, I don't know, a few years back, is get a good VA to take the course and summarize it, because there's a lot of stuff that you'll spend 50% of your time just listening to fluff. I mean, there might be some points there, but let the VA figure it out, and then put it into notes and let you know what it is. I think that's one of the big time saving things. Melissa Simonson is in the house. Melissa.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, I see some names that pop up, and it's nice to see Melissa. I haven't seen her in a long time. So anyways, just wanted to say hi. Anyways, the other thing about this, and I would highly recommend it, is there's a lot of times that people go and try to do things for free. They'll go onto YouTube and they'll try to search YouTube, and that's fine. However, make sure it's 2022 and not 2017. Things change. But the other thing is, I recommend, if you're going into Amazon or social media or doing whatever, if that's going to be your thing, pay for a bloody course. Pay for a good course. So like the first thing that comes to mind with me was the old ASM days, right? Or the Helium 10 Freedom Ticket with Kevin King. Excellent courses. If I want to learn about a VA outsource school from Nathan Hirsch, you pay for it, but you learn. There's a lot of free stuff out there. And I think, if anything, my biggest mistake was trying to get things on the cheap. You have to become an expert and continue to become an expert. If this is what you want to do, if this is what your VA, get your VA to take these courses and summarize it, and then they can become the expert, and all you do is work on your business.
Yeah, that's how we operate as well with Digital Blacksmith. We have different areas. We have SEO, we have Facebook, for example. And all my people that need to spend at least 15 to 20% a day on personal education. They need to be in Hangouts, special occasions. We have a call with Google every week. They need to be there, because then they're on top of their game. And as you said as well, don't be cheap. If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, as we say. So that's not what we want.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, you can put it on the tile behind you.
Yeah. Okay, before we get to the next set of questions, I just want to remind everybody that we do have a really amazing giveaway today. And it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Or if you'd like to enter twice, just tag 2 people. So why don't you tell everybody what the giveaway is, Wilfried?
Well, the giveaway is I will dissect your social and your SEO and your website. Basically, we have a snowball model where everything is interacting to each other. And we have a one-on-one, and we'll give you all the tips and nuggets to basically the low-hanging fruit to grow very fast. And for me, it's almost like an addiction. We onboarded a new client last week, and yesterday we went viral. We had a post doing 150,000 US quality traffic. And if you can create something like that, some magic, it's so much worth. Because your relevance score will go up, your ad spend will go down, and finally people see that there's movement in their company. And sometimes you just need to point out some things. The algorithm of Google, the first thing they will look for is a telephone number. And why? Because they want to know if you're legit. If you're not legit, you have your telephone number somewhere on the bottom line. But if you have it on the top, that means that, okay, they're for real, check. And if you know all those little secrets and nuggets and hacks, then it's so much more easy. Put your 70% will not scroll down. So put all your social above the fold, as we know, the old newspaper days. Put your social there. Put a call to action on your home image. all those little things. And what I will do is have a sit down, and we take an hour of the time of the winner, and then we will dissect their social presence. And I had a client yesterday as well. This is funny because they had 3 likes on the Facebook page, and I said, "Oh, this is great news." And they looked at me and said, "Great news." I said, "Yeah, we can only go up from here." So I'm not sure if they got it, but that's that's normally how we operate. Huh? Hey, Connie.
She just found out you're on.
Oh, no, Connie, yeah.
All right. So now I think it's about that time to take a word from our sponsors. So yes, before we do that, just hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people. You get a second entry. A big thank you to our sponsor, Startup Club, the largest club on Clubhouse with over 790,000 members and growing. They're one of the world's largest communities supporting the startup ecosystem, from founders to those wishing to work for a startup and everything in between. You can find them at www.startup.club for blogs, recordings, and a calendar of upcoming shows, and on the Clubhouse app. Just search Startup Club for daily shows 24/7. You can also now listen to their show, the Serial Entrepreneur Club podcast, on Apple and Spotify too. Stop by to connect, learn, and grow together. That's when I had a voice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was getting some feedback, but I'm not. All right. Let's talk about if you need a tool versus want a tool. How can you differentiate that?
Well, the need, that's the word. Why do you need it? What do you want to achieve with it?
Your volumes, Kelsey, is Wilfried's volume just popped?
Did it do
Is that just
something?
me?
I don't know, Wilfried. Could you just
Sorry,
say a few
guys.
words?
I think 1 2 1 2.
Oh, we'll
Let's
try
see.
that again. It was very loud when it came into. All right, maybe it's just me. I'm
I think it's okay
hallucinating now. When I become delirious, just let me drop and fall on the floor. But
Not only your voice, but your ears are dropping as well now, Norm.
exactly.
Well, what's your question again? I totally forgot about it.
All right. Okay. How do you know if you need a tool?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, the word is in the need.
Yeah.
Because we have a tool that will actually dissect your competition and will show them what's going viral for them, what are the top 100 posts. That's a must-have tool. And then you have to, of course, price quality comparison. This tool is $69, social page analyzer. So that's a tool you can definitely buy. But
social page analyzer. Okay.
So yes, yeah, that's a tool. And we have been involved as well. But we also had tools. We paid $300 for it to do some search SEO searches and that kind of stuff, and backlinking and that kind of stuff. But in the end of the day, it was all illegal almost. And then you don't need it, of course. So I think the word is in the need. What are they offering? Do they have a free trial? Use a free trial. I had a tool yesterday, and I don't hope people from that tool are on the call. It's an amazing tool. It's called monetize. You can see what's going viral on TikTok and Instagram. So you type in your competition and you see what's going on. But they charge $250 a month. And those tools for an Amazon seller, it's a no-go. You don't want to buy that tool for $250 a month just to see what your competition is doing. But then you have the awesome free trial. You have 2 weeks of a free trial. So make use of that free trial. And then after that, you need to know everything about your competition. And then you can say, well, the tool is not for me. And
right.
Then you tried it out. So and normally I wouldn't say that, but I think if you charge $250 just to see what the competition is doing, it's ridiculous. As I said, the social page analyzer, $69 for life. That's a nice spot and a nice price. So that's definitely a tool I would recommend. But you need to be very careful and see what is it doing for you. What is your end goal with it?
I'd like to know, like with any of the listeners, I want to know your nightmares. Like if you've gone in and you've taken either courses or you've bought tools that have been a horror story for you. If you could just put a comment in. And since Wilfried's here, he's here for questions. So please load up a few questions. If you have any questions whatsoever, he is a leader in social media and in external traffic. So, throw in your questions and we'll try to get to them. But let us know some of your horror stories when you've bought courses or tools, anything like that. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, and also I got the badge, social media expert in your Lunch with Norm Facebook group. So people go over there as well because I hang out a lot of times there. I have now my 15 steps with short hacks you can do to promote.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm now at 14, I guess. So we still have one left, and then I will find other things. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, Facebook started to promote Reels. And if you know that, if you now post something, let's say an image or just a video, create a reel out of it, because reels are favored by Facebook. And if something is favored, then you will get traction. And all those different things, that will make or break you compared to your competitors. That's definitely something you wanna take in consideration.
So if you could go back in time, what mistakes would you avoid doing when selecting coaches, tools, or courses?
Well, the biggest one is the shiny object syndrome, and
Right.
Listening too much to their great story, their great claims. If you do this, you will make $10,000 a month. But they don't tell you the whole story. Yeah. So if it's a claim that it's too good to be true, it probably is. That's certainly something I would learn now, and I would avoid doing. If you go to masterminds as well. I spoke at Kevin's mastermind at $1 billion summit.
Yep.
No pitch, no fluff, no only high quality information. And if you go to a mastermind and the first speaker pitches something to you, you better take your bag and go away, because then that the whole mastermind is just for you there to grit your wallet and go broke home. That's not what you want. So that's definitely something I would take in consideration right now. Back in the day, we went everywhere. Almost every month I was somewhere else, luckily as a speaker as well. But I had my fair share of failures that way. Yeah. So I will keep continuing because here.
Oh, bloody cough. Yeah. I would probably have to look back. I'm kind of curious, myself, if I look back, what would I do differently during my Amazon, career? And there were so many courses that and I listened to too many people. So that's probably one of the biggest errors I've made at the very beginning was, there was 4 or 5 people, maybe more, that I was listening to, and everybody was giving me conflicting information. So instead of taking 1 or 2 people, at the end of the day, if you listen to 1 or 2 people, you're going to end up usually at the same endpoint. It might be slightly different, but you're going to get there. If you're listening to 4, 5, 6, 10 different people, then you're going to have tons of conflict and you'll never go anywhere. And that was a problem that I had at the very beginning. So, and I still think that that's a big problem, because it's way worse now, because everybody and his mother is, giving advice. But they've never proved, a lot of people have never proved themselves. In fact, and again, I'm not going to bring out certain people, but people, I'm a 7-figure seller, or I'm an 8-figure seller, or I've never sold on Amazon and I'm a service provider, or all right.
And that's also one thing I learned along the way. They say in the US, your net worth is your network. Create that network. You can create an awesome network on LinkedIn or in the Facebook groups, for example. And then people will help other people. And it's so much more rewarding than having a paid guru telling you what to do or what not to do. And I also had an experience with a software developer. And back in the day, I was doing the book arbitrage thing on Amazon.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was very well. I got it to 6 figures in a few months. But he got a lot of complaints. And then I looked over his shoulder, and 93% of all the people that bought his tool didn't use it. and then they start complaining because they don't have the time or the energy or whatever to use that tool, and they don't blame him. So also when you buy something, that's also what I learn now. Do I have the time to invest in it? If people say you need to create a website to do Amazon affiliate, okay, but you need to have at least 50 articles before Google will see you, will take you seriously, for example. So do you have the time or the money to outsource it to do 50 of those different articles? And if not, don't do it and don't buy it. And it was the same with the tool, because I know the tool worked. It worked for me.
Yeah.
And I also did coaching there for people that needed a little help. But I stopped doing it because I said you need to do this, this, and that. And next week they didn't do anything, and they just want to sit down and think, well, I spent money, and now it's all going to happen. You need to take action. And if you don't do it, then you can buy whatever course you want, but it will never happen. Eh?
That's correct. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, it's so important. I was talking to a very well-known, well-respected company that brought out, you know, one of the first Amazon courses, very well respected. And they told me that 75% of the people that bought their very expensive course had never logged in.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's a moment that you buy something, and I fall for it as well. I fell for it.
Have you done that?
Well, you buy something and then you think, oh, this is amazing. And then you think, yeah, why did I buy it? Because I don't have the time to do it, or I don't want to sell on Amazon.
I've done that. I have to admit, I'm one of those guys that have bought courses and never logged in.
Yeah, well, we can call out this name because it's a big university and they had a big data course. And I thought, well, why not at Cambridge University? I signed up $2,500, and then they gave me the material. It was mediocre at best. I had more knowledge than the guy giving me the course, so that was very disappointed, and I got my money back. So yeah, that's also one thing you should check out. Do they have a money back guarantee or?
That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, always pay with PayPal because it's easier to get your money back than pay with credit card, for example. But there are so many crazy things out there, and it's the life of an entrepreneur, I guess. That we, it's how do you say it? Walk, crawl, run. That's and that's always also with the courses and the mentors.
Walk, crawl, run, and get kicked between the legs multiple times.
Yeah.
And then start walking again or crawling or whatever you want to do.
All right. Just say that we're a little different as entrepreneurs. We gave up our 40-hour work week to work 160 hours.
You got it.
So, yeah.
All right, Wilfried, why don't we switch over to some questions? Or Kelsey, did you see any good comments that came in? I wasn't able to check.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different comments and questions that are coming in that I just want to kind of go through. And I also just want to remind everyone, Wilfried does have a new social media course. It's Power Up Masterclass, and you can use VIP Norm to get $1,000 off. And for full transparency, this is an affiliate link, just to be completely transparent about that. But yeah, let's go through the questions now. This one I thought was pretty interesting. So do you have tips for taking action for those courses instead of just buying it? I know you've just mentioned that you sometimes take courses, but you just never actually do anything with the courses. Is there any tips that you can give to someone to actually do the course instead of just buying it and forgetting about it?
It's the same advice I give with my social media. Create a content calendar. You also need to create a course calendar. If you know there are 50 modules in a course, and you know that you can do one a week, plan them in. Remind yourself that you need to do it. If you get a reminder and saying, "Oh, I need to do the course," and take time to do it. And back in the day, how I studied was also very funny. I had to read a lot of things. I have a master in finance and a bachelor in communications. And what I did was I spoke it in on a CD, and I was on the road a lot. And then I just listened to myself speaking what I read before. And it was a very cool way for me to do it because, when you're on the road, you don't have anything else to do. Well, especially with online, you can just put on the course, of course. That's a nice word to it. But yeah, listen to those courses or podcasts while you're on the road. You can listen to some nice music, but it's better to educate yourself, especially when you have 2-hour drives. Make the best out of it.
Good point.
Okay, and I also want to mention if any of our listeners have any tips or advice for sellers looking at courses or looking at possible coaches, you can share your comments, your tips in the comment section here, and I can read them out. We've had a couple tips come in that I'll read out right now. So Yanni's tip is focus, follow one course until success.
All right.
Melissa is saying reviews really help. Also, you usually get what you pay for. And Melissa's always saying she doesn't have a horror story necessarily, but she's certainly purchased courses or two that made it clear they were better at marketing the course than teaching the skill the course was actually about. So I think everyone can probably relate to that one. So we have a question from Claudia. Wilfried, if your brand name is taken on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc., what should you do? Should you add a word at the beginning or end, like shop or store or something else? Suggestions, please.
Yeah, well, if you have the brand name itself, you can claim it, of course. But if it's not true, then you can do official. Let's see, sometimes let's say I have a pet store and the pet store is taken, pet store official or something like that. But yeah, the word itself is not that important. It's more like the link to it. You will get it viral, and then you will see the logo and that kind of stuff. People will click on all those different things. So of course, the brand name, you want to always have the brand name. Go to namechecker.com to see if there are other areas out there you can still claim it. Namechecker without the E. And then you can see if it's available on Tumblr or WordPress and claim them all, because yeah, you don't have to exercise a lot of content there, but if you just have the name and the link and a short bio, it's another cool way to do SEO. But yeah, just be a little bit creative, and people will plow through it and see that you're the official of it. So absolutely.
Okay, and another question from Rad. Do you have an opinion on GoPro for Shopify influencers?
Yeah, I actually don't know that one. So I know a lot of other influential tools. Monetize, I shouted that one out. Thomason is still available, I guess, but I don't know GoPro. So that's also something the true coach should do. Just don't claim to be a know-it-all.
Right.
That's also what you see a lot happening. They just make something up, but I don't know GoPro. But I will definitely check it out. So good tip, Red.
Yeah, it looks like it's an affiliate marketing app for Shopify. So I put the link in just so everyone can see and check it out themselves. All right. And let me see from Yanni. I'm not sure if this is a comment or a question, but Yanni is saying, ways to spot a fake guru when you've seen Photoshop Seller Central screenshots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good way, Yanni.
All right. And our last comment is from Near. He says, I love this topic. I think that it is extremely sensitive but important. I have my own rule. If someone offers something that sounds like an immediate magic, it's most probably the magic is taking your money. So
yeah, I'm run for it.
I agree. So Near had something else. I don't know what it says. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question. I know that Kelsey is a champion in fighting sports. My question is if the original reason for sending him to learn it was some of the bad courses. Of course, it is just a joke.
That Near.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, Norm actually had us take karate. Well, you kind of left it open for us. I know this is going off topic, but Norm had us ask if we were interested in any martial arts. Norm took karate, I believe, and boxing.
I took them all.
And so, yeah. So I ended up going into karate, I think, when I was like 5 or 6. And then I turned into jujitsu and like now in my 20s. So, yeah, a little fun fact. From pin classes.
That's also very important.
Yeah, exactly. From pin classes, do you know Jumbleberry, Wilfried?
No, they won't check that one out as well.
Jeez, right. I usually know quite a few, but there's a lot coming out now.
Yeah, it's also an affiliate program. See.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
Performance marketing engine.
Okay. And we'll all have these in the detail area in the show notes as well. So.
Yeah. All right. And our last question from Cool Hand: how do you recommend approaching influencers?
Yeah, the first thing you need to check out is their engagement rate. That's what I said. Use monetize for that purpose, or other tools out there, and just reach out, DM them. Some do DM. Sometimes you see their address, their email address, Gmail or whatever. Then you can reach out them that way. Some do it for free or just for the package themselves. Some charge money. You should create a good form of micro influencers and the higher paid up ones, but start small, start on the bottom, and then work your way up if you have the money for it.
That Modash, how do you spell that?
MODS. Let me see if I don't want to make mistakes. Modash, MODASH.io. Can I also put it in the?
Sure.
In the.
Is that part of Mojo?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I still have a 7-day free trial, but I was joking about that one.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, but that's also, you need to be a little bit clever with an entrepreneur. You don't have to buy everything. If you just go for the free services and the trials, and of course, if you can spare the money, do it. But other than that, be a little creative as well, especially when you start doing it. You talked about the guy spending $4,000 on tools.
Yeah.
I also now have a client. I just talked about it. I onboarded it. They spent $250 on Shopify apps. Well, half of them you don't need, but they think, oh yeah, it's a must. But sometimes it isn't. So be careful there as well.
Right. Okay. So we'll give you 2 seconds to anybody who wants to enter the giveaway today for the social media audit worth $500 with Wilfried. And let's see, how do people get a hold of you while we're waiting for everybody?
My email address, wilfried@digitalblacksmith.io. And otherwise, just Google me. I have a name that's not too familiar, so that's a good thing.
All right.
Otherwise go to power@masterclass.com. You can have an email address there as well. So absolutely.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. Not only do I have a cold, but for those of you that don't know, Wilfried's under the weather as well. So yeah, I really.
Oh, yeah, sound a lot better. Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
And that's also, we are still recording the course. I just finished my YouTube. As I said, every time it's different, and I'm happy. I don't have to record now. We will do a TikTok next week, and then my voice will be a little bit better, because otherwise, it will sound a little fishy.
Yeah, and Lunch with Norm listeners get $1,000 off the course. It's just VIP Norm, and you'll get that. And now I do, because if I ever take an affiliate, it's only if I can get you guys the best deal. I do have an affiliate here. I want to make that clear. Okay. So if I do ever take an affiliate, I want you guys to know it, because I do make a little bit on the back here. Wilfried has been generous because, hey, I was his business partner.
It's all about sharing. And that's also why it may sound ridiculous. Why do you do this course? I can spend my time otherwise, but I love to share and to teach and to give back to the community.
But that's the other thing, Wilfried. There's so many people that will promote something that don't believe in it just to grab a buck. I've taken the course. We've logged in. We've taken a look at it. It was good. So, and that's the only reason why I would even take an affiliate. So, anyways, we get $1,000 off if you're interested in it, and it is very well done. But when I checked, you had about 4 modules completed, and you were just adding to the rest of them.
Yeah, it's never completed there, because we just find out something new on Instagram today, and we'll record it and put it in. So, absolutely.
All right. So before we get over to the wheel, we'll have one last word from our sponsor, and then we'll hit the wheel.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking out a little bit. Do you remember? I don't want to play the second sponsor again.
You've been hitting the head too many times in your martial arts career.
I think so. I'm going to blame COVID a little bit on this one.
Okay. You play anyone you want, Kels.
All right. Okay. I believe it's this one.
As you know, at Lunch with Norm, bigger is always better. Bigger business, bigger profits, and yes, bigger lunches. Z wants to make sure that your business and profits are bigger by taking you and your business international. They are a one-stop importer of record shop, including compliance and logistics services. They focus on all the elements involved in a smooth first-time custom clearance so that you can focus on what you're good at, selling. Click on the screen now or follow the link in the description box below and get 50% off your first shipment today. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Kelsey, you did a good job. Now get us to the wheel.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. So thank you everyone for entering today's Wheel of Kelsey. If you are the winner, please email me k@lunchwithnorm.com. And if you're new to the podcast, we do this every single podcast episode. So if you don't win today, you can always come back on Friday and enter our next one. And it looks like the winner is Rad.
Congrats, Rad.
Congratulations, and reach me at k@lunchwithnorm.com and I'll connect you with Wilfried.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so there we go. So once again, really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us today, Wilfried. Even though you're sick, I apologize for coughing in everybody's ear. I tried to hit the mute button multiple times and missed. But anyways, thank you, sir. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Absolutely. Vitamin C and a lot of chicken soup I see in the screen.
That's it.
We need them.
All right. See you, Wilfried.
Thank you.
Okay. Kelsey, where are you?
All right. So hopefully everyone enjoyed today's episode. We'll be back on Friday with Paul Harvey. And if you have any questions or comments about today's episode, I know Wilfried is very active in our Facebook group, so you can go interact with him over there. That's the Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and e-commerce collective. That's where all the fun happens. And yeah, you can be a part of the community, interact with me and Norm. And just a place to hang out if you have any questions really about anything. I know we obviously talk about Amazon and e-commerce in that group quite a bit, but this is a place where you can get to know the community over there. And if you just want to say hey and meet some new people or drop a question, if like I know I asked a question about the hobbies people have in the group outside of Amazon, and I saw some people making connections and getting to share their hobbies with everyone, which is great to see, because there's more to life than just selling on Amazon. So this is why we built this community, so you can be a part of something, a part of our little beer nation, and make some friends along the way. So also don't forget to hit those likes, smash them, get the thumbs up, and follow us on social media. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I know, Norm, you just hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, so congratulations.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah, another milestone. So next up is 3,000. So give us a thumbs up if you like today's episode. And I think that's pretty much it. We do have our Patreon membership group. If you're interested in Q&A sessions with Norm and I, you get 2 Q&A sessions with Norm, 1 Q&A session with me, a guest lesson, and SOPs, and a whole bunch of other stuff. A mug like this.
More giveaways.
This little fancy mug. Yeah, more giveaways. And if you're like more information about that, you can check out Lunch with Norm website and just hit the membership button. And I think that's about it. So
all right.
Thank you, everyone. Norm, do you have any final words?
Just join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And thanks for being part of a community. And we will talk to you Friday.
Lunch with Norm.